Indore is one of that center. Out of total 22.9 lakh students, the students who appeared.
But
Yes,
one center or one city? How
no,
many
Manoj, there are
centers?
more than one centers, Manoj. Indore has 49 centers.
How many centers power was 39 centers. 39.
No, Manoj.
Yes. Yes, Mr.
There
Manoj,
are
yes.
49 total. Manoj, I'm giving those details. There are total centers 49, in which 27,264 students appeared. But out of 49 total centers in Indore, there was no power outage in 10 centers. These are my lord admitted facts. No power outage in 10 centers. There are 19 centers where there was a power outage, but there was a DG set backup. So, my lord, we can say even in 19 there was no power outage. The electricity went off, but the DG set immediately started. So that takes us to 29 out of 49. Then there are 18 centers where there was a power outage, but sufficient lighting so as to enable students to give the exam, fill the answer sheets. Total. There were 2 centers where again, my lord, power outage was there, my lord, for a few minutes, 5 or 7 minutes. But my lord, that may not be relevant for your lordship's consideration. So that takes us, my lord, to 49. Now, my lord, one thing requires to be, my lord, borne in mind, and I would earnestly request your lordships to bear that factor in mind. So this is a question, my lord, a question paper which is of a multiple choice questions. Your lordships are aware. My lord, A, B, C, D, and I have to tick the correct answer. So I'm not supposed to write the way, my lord, we in our days used to write long answers. There is a negative marking in this examination throughout the country. I'm not talking about only Indore. Meaning thereby, a student would not attempt a question unless he is very clear and confident about the answer. Am I able to make myself clear? Lord, if I correctly answer one question, but the next question, if I answer incorrectly, my first question also goes. There is a negative marking. And therefore, you attempt only those questions which answers are very clear in your mind. This will have some bearing, my lord. Therefore, my lord, I'm highlighting this. Now, my lord, the question was, out of, my lord, those, my lord, candidate 27,000, my lord, odd candidates, some 78 candidates approached the Honorable Court. That because of the power outage, there should be a re-examination. That was their prayer. I must tell your lordships, my lord, out of Lord, each affected center where there was a power outage and they, Lord, students fill up the papers through the natural light, my lord. It was from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., my lord. It was in the afternoon session. My lord, the average questions which they answered were 119 to 127 out of 180. Average, I'm sorry, my lord.
Attempted. They attempted.
They attempted, yes, my lord. They attempted 119 to 127 average, my lord, out of 180. This would have some bearing, my lord. Therefore, I am highlighting this at the outset. My lord, so far as the result is concerned, result is declared, and there are 11 candidates from this affected centers who are toppers, my lord, who have scored more than 600 marks.
Yes.
One student, my lord, from the affected center is All India number 2.
Yes.
But, my lord, it is a question of students, though, my lord, handful 78 Rest of the students, my lord, are not affected. They are not, my lord, aggrieved. And the difficulty would be that the rest of the students, there were some applications filed by them from affected centers. They don't give them a second chance. Maybe they have not performed well, and therefore they want to have a second chance, second bite at the cherry, and therefore don't give them a chance. We have done better. There were applicants, my lord, before the learned single judge raising that plea also. Lord, since this pertained to the question of students, rather than taking a decision on our own, Lord, we decided to constitute a committee of neutral, independent experts. Lord, one professor from IIT Delhi and Lord, two professors of Lord, Delhi University, where the report. Lord, it is at the report, my lord, because they have gone into these questions, my lord, and they are experts, and my lord, their Lordship, only give me a minute, my lord. There is some confusion there. Lord, it would be at page name. The LPMA page comes out.
Additional affidavit, page number 7 of that.
I'm taking this WP 1905 of 25.
Yes.
Please refer to the document from this.
Your Lordship, have my lord, the report.
17344.
Yes.
If my lord, see the lower court tab, my lord, LC tab, my lord. In that, we have filed counter affidavit.
No, this is WP 1899.
This can't be in the counter. You did it.
Affidavit, which we have filed. Tab R7 of that, my lord.
Not showing.
Bro, your Lordships have the report, my lord, maybe pagination. Lord, it's my learned friend, Mr. Rupesh Kumar, will give the pagination which the court may have.
R7 is the answer. Yes.
So, my lord,
Yes.
because of the very nature of the question paper, that it is multiple choice, and one wrong answer gets you a negative mark, and therefore the attempted questions would play a crucial role. Keeping this in mind, my lord, if your Lordships can come to page 67, just to show, my lord, the neutrality and independence of the committee. Your Lordship, sir, page 67, my lord.
R7, first page. It starts.
No, I want the last page first, Rupesh.
It's conclusion part.
Yes. That is 17. 17.
17. Yes.
Yes, my lord. Professor Neeraj Joshi, member, Department of Mathematics, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Your Lordship gets that, my lord?
Signatures.
Second, Professor Chandrabhan Yadav, Department of Statistics, University of Delhi. And third, Professor Girish Chandra, Chairperson, Department of Statistics, University of Delhi. Now, my lord, they are neutral people, my lord, not concerned with us, with my lord, the National Testing Agency. We wanted a very fair and correct view of what happened. Now, your Lordships may come to the first page of the report. Lord, please, your Lordships have background and objective.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but I'll skip what is not relevant for your Lordship.
We had in such type of paper of objective type questions. I attempted that.
Yeah, Lord, kindly see, last but one unnumbered paragraph, we can broadly classify. Your Lordship gets, my lord? Just above, my lord, the second penultimate paragraph. We can broadly classify the examination centers into two groups. The first group, group 1, consisting of those centers where there was no reported power cut, and other centers, group 2, comprising those centers where a power outage was reported. The primary objective is to assess whether the centers of the city of Indore claiming to be affected by a thunderstorm or power outage, henceforth referred to as the affected centers, show a statistically significant difference from the unaffected centers of the same city in terms of the number of questions attempted by the students. We classify the centers into two groups, group 1 non-affected, group 2 affected. The primary objective is to determine whether there is statistically significant difference in the number of questions attempted between students and at the unaffected centers and those at the affected centers. But not significant, because if I am unable to read my question, but I can't answer the question even if I know. And if I have attempted the question despite having a negative marking, that means I have read the question, I have understood the question, and I have attempted the question. Now, moreover, the centers of the nearby city are also considered. Since there was no such thunderstorm or power outage in a neighboring city, comparing the centers of Indore and neighboring city will give us more insight to evaluate the effect of thunderstorm or power outage. To evaluate this, a two simple independent test was performed to compare the average number of questions attempted by candidates from both groups. Random samples from two unaffected centers were compared with all the affected centers. Similar comparisons can be extended to other unaffected centers. My lord, your lordships can thereafter, my lord, I will not read, my lord, what they have done is the methodology, and that may not be, my lord, relevant for your lordship's consideration. Then they apply, my lord, some hypothesis, my lord, which is a scientific basis, my lord, universally accepted for this kind of situations. Then, my lord,
Like
result and
what-
interpretation. I'm sorry, my lord.
Like that was Lewis method.
Yeah, yes, my lord. Your lordships are right, my lord. Results and interpretation of the centers in Indore. The unaffected centers have been compared with the number of affected centers of the same city. The t-test is applied and p-values are obtained for the centers. It is to be noted that in the context of statistical hypothesis, the p-value is defined as the probability of observing the data given that a null hypothesis is true. Then they give some scientific explanation, but better is to assist your lordship with the final result. My lord, which will be at page interpretation, my lord, which is internal page 16, my lord, if your lordships can have. Title is interpretation. And clause 5 is conclusion.
Page 16.
Will be given 1 minute in my position.